So you finished up watching the 2016 film The Girl with All of the Gifts, hoping for something new, and you were completely blown away by this different interpretation of the quote-unquote zombie. Like, this ain't your Walking Dead type bumbling idiot zombie. However, you are thrown off by that ending. What did it mean? Was it tragic or hopeful? And how are these zombies getting their freak on? Well, don't worry, because today we are going to break down all of the unanswered questions you have and try to explain it in the easiest way possible. Hello everyone, Jared here, and The Girl with All of the Gifts is currently streaming on Netflix. I'm sure you scrolled right by it when you were watching The Office for the 4th time, but this is a must-see. This takes you places and introduces new things in the zombie genre you have not seen before, especially that ending. And what does it all mean? Well, don't worry, because today we're going to be getting into the ending and explain everything in The Girl with All of the Gifts, especially the scientific research and almost a real-life parallels of this film. So sit back and relax as we explain this 2016 film, The Girl with All of the Gifts. Oh, get out of here. Go, go, go!
What did you do?
So it is safe to say if you're watching this video, then you watched The Girl with All of the Gifts, or maybe you don't care and just want all of Dim's spoilers. If not, here's a quick refresher.
The Girl with All of the Gifts opens with a young girl named Melanie in what appears to be some sort of jail cell setting, toting an orange outfit in a wheelchair with restraints. Is this a Hannibal Lecter spin-off movie? We soon discover this is an underground bunker/military base of sorts, with several children being strapped to wheelchairs, learning in this borderline post-apocalyptic environment with a kinda smiling teacher, Helen Justineau, all guarded by machine gun-wielding officers. What is going on with these kids? Are they sick? Do they have powers? Were they kidnapped? Enough of the dad jokes. As Helen is praising her prized student, Melanie, from earlier in the film, she touches her on the head oh so gently, but this is a big no-no when Sergeant Eddie Parks bursts into the room, berating Helen in front of her class never to touch the children. Then rolling up his sleeve and spitting on his flesh, he holds it in front of Franklin in the front row. Is this some kind of weird fetish? In a matter of seconds, Franklin and half of the class flip into chomping, bloodthirsty, flesh-wanting creatures. That's right, all of the kids in the room are half zombies. You know, zombies that still have to pay taxes and go to work, but also crave eating human ass, or any other human body parts. I mean, it doesn't have to be just the ass. So this is why all of these kids are locked up. Enter Dr. Caroline Caldwell, whom is trying to find a cure for this so-called virus, which actually isn't even a virus, but rather a pathogenic fungus called Ophiocordyceps unilaterus. It's a long word, so here. However, upon testing on Melanie and her brainstem, a group of these zombies, aka the Hungries, attack the base, causing all hell to break loose. The only few people to survive the Hungries invasion are Teacher Helen, Dr. Caldwell, Sergeant Parks, a few soldiers, and Melanie, who saved Helen from the hungry Hungries. Not to be confused with hungry hippos. Fast forward a bit as they make their way into the heart of jolly old London, trying to meet up with other military units, only to discover that the city is overrun by Hungries. A dead heap of them has sprouted, creating a giant plant-like spire with seedlings, and a group of young feral 2.0 Hungries are running the streets of London like the damn warriors from the Warriors.
Warriors, come out to play!
In the last moments of the film, Dr. Caldwell admits to Melanie that she believes her brain and fungus are actually working in a symbiotic relationship, much like Venom and Eddie Brock. Causing Melanie to run out of the containment caravan, approach the plant-like spire from earlier, and fire that beach up, sending thousands of fungal spores airborne, infecting miles upon miles, more than likely infecting any of the last remaining humans into hungry Hungries.
Okay, now that we're all caught up on The Girl with All of the Gifts, let's get into the scientific reasoning behind these creatures that we know as Hungries, the ending, and what the ending means for the context of the rest of the film. Okay, first up is going to be the virus that is affecting the Hungries, which actually isn't a virus at all, but rather a pathogenic fungus that is affecting the minds of these people who used to be regular, everyday humans. Some sort of fungus was exposed to more than likely one single individual, which then ran rampant, much like herpes, infecting more and more people through bites, scratches, essentially like the age-old zombie and its bite. But since we are dealing with a fungus this time around, this has roots in actual scientific discoveries that mainly affect ants, which is called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. I know it's very long.
That's what she said.
But rather, this fungus will infect an ant, more than likely of the carpenter variety, and instead of building things in their workshop or fixing their neighbor's deck, these ants are under the control of what the fungus wants and needs, turning them into zombie-like ants, eventually leading them down to the forest floor, which is better for fungal growth, attaching themselves to a stem or branch, which is called the quote-unquote death grip, and has the fungus tear through their bodies and head until its eventual death. Which all of this can be seen in the movie with stage 1 hungries attacking or searching for food when it is needed, having no control over their actions, unable to speak, and so forth. And after a longer period of time, they herd together to form a stalk-like fungal plant or tree. So the science behind these human zombies comes from the actual effects of fungus on ants, causing these so-called zombie ants. But what exactly is Melanie and the other half hungries? Well, this actually ties in with the end of the film. If we remember back to the conversations Melanie and Dr. Caldwell had throughout the film, Dr. Caldwell was skeptical of Melanie's brain activity, instead claiming it was like ferns wrapping around an oak tree. She was only able to act a certain way because of the way the fungus saw patterns in other people and therefore reenacting those functions. Claiming Melanie actually never had control over her own actions, the fungus was in the driver's seat on a highway to hell. But by the end of the movie, Dr. Caldwell finally admits that she is just like a velociraptor. She is a clever girl.
Clever girl.
Okay, she didn't actually mention velociraptors, but that instead of a zombie-like creature, Melanie and the fungus were working in an almost symbiotic relationship now, in what we can call a Hungry 2.0, or in comic book terms, Eddie Brock and Venom. This 2.0 version Hungry has cognitive behaviors of a normal human despite getting a bloodlust whenever hungry, but the metabolic rates of breathing and other functions are heightened, thus causing an evolution human advancement into a better human, a human 2.0. Now, knowing of this advancement with the fungus, this is what causes Melanie to fire up the spire-like fungal stalk. This will in turn infect all of the remaining humans. Sure, it will end the human race as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. But also it will bring about the natural order or natural selection of human evolution. The remaining humans are version 1.0 hungries that will die and become more and more of these plant-like spire fungus towers, but Melanie and the other 2.0 versions are now going to be the future of the human race. Melanie knew upon lighting up the spire, both for humanity reasons, but also for selfish reasons, because she had never been treated like a normal being. She had been nothing but treated poorly by all of the other people. It was now time for her own species to rise up, almost like the Planet of the Apes, but none of the apes. She purposely kept teacher Helen alive because she was one of the only humans to treat her as an equal, but also Melanie needed her to be a teacher to then educate these feral and childlike hungry 2.0 humans. But rather, all of this was foreshadowed earlier in the film with the story of Pandora and Pandora's box. It was said that Pandora was curious and opened Pandora's box, unleashing everything evil to man and plagues that ravished the earth. But at the bottom of the box, there was something left. It was hope. This in turn can be symbolized with Melanie. She is Pandora, and lighting the fungal spire is her actions of opening Pandora's box. Though it released the plague amongst all of the other leftover humans, there is still hope. Melanie is the hope that will bring upon the next generation of humanity. So throughout the whole story, Melanie had been embodying the story of Pandora and really ushering in the next evolution or era of humanity. Now before we close everything up and get to the very end of this video, let's get into the one Easter egg that's really hidden at the end of The Girl with All of the Gifts. Alright, so let's take a look at The Girl with All of the Gifts overall. It is a post-apocalyptic world taken over by these zombie-like creatures that isn't caused by a virus, but rather a fungal pathogen that can be transmitted in many different ways, so the utmost caution must be taken, and these hungries are evolving, turning into plant-like creatures towards the end of their lives. On the other hand, there is still bits and pieces of humanity left out there, with one individual girl that is somewhat immune to this pathogen, or rather has evolved to live in a symbiotic relationship with the pathogen. There are also groups of military and scientists that want to use Melanie's gifts to create a cure for the pathogen. The world and story of The Girl with All of the Gifts is actually an offshoot or sequel to the 2013 hit video game The Last of Us. Think about it, Ellie and Melanie are the same type of character, Joel and Helen, scientists wanting to kill them in a post-apocalyptic terrain with clickers running around that are transformed from a spore or fungus. The Girl with All of the Gifts is the same as The Last of Us. Or it's just a really cool zombie-like story showcasing many of the same ideas and assets in a post-apocalyptic world. I mean, either or. So that is it, an intellectual, post-apocalyptic, zombie-like horror film that very much veers into the territory of The Last of Us. What did you guys think of that ending? Did you like the zombie-like or a little bit different than the zombie-like things and the tie-in with the hit Naughty Dog video game? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there. You know, there's brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. I love doing these ending explained poorly videos. They take a lot of time, so please, please, please appreciate all of the work that I put into this by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, sharing this video out, because these take a long time. Until next time, we'll see you later.